Hi, I'm Chris Gribben,
Hello, I'm Mina Martin.
and today we're going to talk to you about our project proposal for university orientation at the University of Charleston. Our title is Forget What You Can Get and See What You Can Give.
So just to give a quick overview of what our PowerPoint is going to contain, we're going to talk about our project proposal today. We're going to identify any constraints we have. We're going to identify what we're going to learn out of our project proposal, how it relates to the liberal learning outcomes and the university missions, and we're going to set a plan, what dates we're going to do what things, and how we can fully prepare for this event.
So the project goals we've come up with, what we plan to do is to collect as many items as possible donated by people at the 5K run, whether that's the participants or their friends and family or anybody else, and we donate those items to the local community, and we do this via the Salvation Army. The items will be given to local families who can't afford to purchase the items due to their current financial standings, and so that's the goal of our project.
Now I'm going to talk to you how our project proposal relates to the liberal learning outcomes of the university. So there's 6 liberal learning outcomes. All of these are 6 important skills which one needs for later life, and which are very important things to think about when tackling a new idea or a project. All these liberal learning outcomes are portrayed in some sort of way in this project. So the first one is citizenship. Obviously this is a very social element of our project. It's very important to progress one's social skills and to learn how to work in a team. And also citizenship gives an insight of other people's lives, which obviously is a very important part of this project. So many of us will see what it's like and will be able to reflect and think about how lucky we are and see what we can give to other people. Obviously this associates to social, political and economic and it's going to allow an individual to demonstrate how to be an honourable member of society and to really engage into the community. The second liberal learning outcome is communication. Communication is the ability to effectively receive and send messages, and to be a good communicator is a very important part of learning, and it's very important in all aspects of life. So to be able to communicate with other people, to understand their point of view, is a really important aspect of this project. In talking to the Salvation Army, talking to people who are donating, convincing them to donate, etc. The third one is creativity. It's the process of innovation, how you can think of an original idea, combine it with an existing idea to create something new. And this as well links in with our project, because many have to think about what they're going to donate, how their donation is going to be useful, and what they can do to help.
The next 3 liberal learning outcomes are critical thinking, ethics and inquiry. So this project relates to critical thinking because if there's any problems that arise during a project or the process of planning or on the day, we can use critical thinking to help us find a solution to the problem and to make sure that we can keep things running as smoothly as possible. And this might involve just quick decisions on the spot to help us, adapt our event if any problems arise, or it could be well thought through decisions to make sure that no problems happen in the future or on the day of the event. The second one is ethics. So this project relates to ethics in the sense that when we're talking to the Salvation Army or the public, people involved in the race or any other organisation or people, we need to make sure that we're treating them with integrity, honesty, respect, all of the sort of ethical components of treating people how they should be treated. and to conduct ourselves in a professional manner at all times. And the final learning outcome is inquiry. So this event should actually help us to obtain new knowledge about the event planning process and several things about event planning. And hopefully, if we do have any events in the future that we're planning or taking part in or running, we could learn some things from this project and take them forward. Yes.
Now, there's a quick overview how our project relates to the university mission. There's 3 university missions, which are productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. The first one, productive work, isn't actually the definition of how much work can be produced, so what the material gain is for the student, but it's how a student can have a positive impact on the local community and essentially the world. In this project, obviously, the student has the ability to have a very great impact on the local community and improve lives of people their age, but also whole families. And to be able to create something without doing materialistic work is really important, rather than just doing work for oneself, which is the main part of the university. The second university mission is enlightened living. It's how one can use their knowledge and how can broaden their knowledge to strive in modern society. How you can become culturally literate as well as economically and socially. And this project is a very important part of that. It teaches the student how to socially interact with the community, how to become more culturally literate, in the sense that they're able to see what other people's lives are like and what they can personally do to help. It also gives the individual a sense of shared values, and they'll be able to commit to a moral purpose through this event.
And the third part of the university mission is community involvement. This is a part that should be very, very heavily linked with the project because we'll be dealing with the community very intensely and very often. And the Salvation Army is an organisation that obviously we'll be communicating with and using. They are very deeply involved in the community. They're always talking to members of the local area in Charleston and West Virginia. So we should be very heavily involved with the community in this project. And the justification for our project, so the angle that we've taken, instead of giving money to these people, we feel that we should donate items as opposed to financial donations. We decided it would be a more thoughtful gift rather than just donating money. We want to get people thinking, how can I help specifically? What do people need? What do people don't have in the community? What are they needing? So it might be a more direct method of donation. So people might need things like clothes or, you know, kitchen appliances or something like that quite urgently, and giving them money to go out and buy them might not be the most direct and the most quick way of solving quite an inconvenient problem for them. So we decided to donate items rather than just money.
So we decided to create a project plan for this event to make sure it is successful and make sure everything's planned out so that nothing goes wrong, and that we have all the equipment needed to make the day a success. So the actual run is on April 7th, 2018. So we decided that around a month before, we're going to contact the Salvation Army, meet with them, speak with them, see what they think about our idea, and see if we can plan ahead to make sure they have time to come at that time, and see what we need, what we can give them, if they need anything from us, etc. Then roughly 2 weeks before the event, our advertisements will be in, so we're going to create posters to get as much publicity as possible, put posters around the university, also do some advertising on social media, and this will enable us to make the event very successful and make sure a lot of people know about the event, can come to the event, and can actually start thinking about what they can donate so they can plan ahead 2 weeks before the event actually starts. And then a week before the event actually starts, which is going to be around April 1st, the final preparations will begin. So putting the stands up, making sure everything is ready, making sure there are no problems, and just putting all the final preparations into place.
So resources that we might require. We believe we'll need a communication team to talk to the Salvation Army, because their willingness to come and pick the items up from the location could be quite key in the project. So we'll need a team to talk directly to them and keep in constant communication with them. We'll also need a marketing team to promote the event. So this could be things such as posters or advertisements or anything that we could get to just drum up attention about the event happening. These could be put up around the university campus, but also very importantly in the local area, as we're trying to attract as many people as possible to the event so that we can achieve as many items donated as possible. Also, a set-up and clean-up team on the day of the event will be key. The set-up team will be essential just for making sure that we're prepared for the event starting so that it all runs smoothly and all goes to plan, and to take the stress off of us on the day. Also, a clean-up team at the end of the event will make sure that the site is clean, is tidy, it's not being left in a bad way, so that we're being considerate of the environment and everything. And finally, we'll require an item collection team. This will be key, and these people will be dealing with the donators of the items face to face. They'll be collecting the items and sorting them into the categories that we'll be discussing in the next slide.
So we decided to make the collection and the distribution of the items easier and more efficient. We're going to categorize the items collected into 4 categories. These categories will still hold a very large range of items, but it'll enable us to sort them out more quicker, and it'll be easier to get an overview of what items we have actually collected. So the 4 categories are furniture, clothing, household goods, and appliances. This way we can see what families need which items, and we will be able to track down the items more quickly because we will know straight away what category they are in. And this is just going to make the whole distribution of the items more efficient and more effective.
So 2 possible constraints that we identified prior to the planning of the event. If the Salvation Army can actually collect the items specifically on April the 7th, it might cause a few problems purely for storage. If we have items that are sitting around and they can't be collected on the day and we need to keep them, it might be a problem finding a place to put them so that they don't get lost and they're kept safe for the people that are donated to. Particularly, as a second point suggests, large items. The storage of large items may be a lot more difficult, as they can't just be stored in small places. They might have to be a very specific storage place for the items to go, so that might be another possible constraint.
And the quote for our project proposal is, "Be the change you want to see in the world, give today." And that is our project proposal. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.